was something steady, something I could hold. I trusted every quiet promise, every hand I was shown. You said we were still okay, said nothing had changed. But I felt the distance growing every time you said my name. I tried to fix the silence, tried to stay strong enough. I didn't see the moment when I lost love. I lost love somewhere between trying and letting go. I was holding on to what we were, you were already cold. I didn't hear it break out loud, there was no warning sign. I didn't lose you suddenly, I lost love. We still share the same old space, still talk like before. But my heart felt empty, even when you were close. I blame myself for everything, thought I wasn't enough. But love shouldn't feel like guessing or proving your love. You stopped choosing us out loud, stopped meeting me halfway. I stayed longer than I should have, hoping love would stay. I lost love in quiet ways, in words you didn't say. I was loving you completely, you were fading away. I don't hate you for leaving, that's not where I fell apart. I broke because I realized I lost love. If you were falling out of love, you could have told me then. I would have handled broken truth better than this end. You didn't leave in anger, you didn't slam the door, you just slowly disappeared until love wasn't here anymore. I lost love, but I survived. I'm still standing on my own side. I'll love again, just not so blind, not with my heart so far behind. I don't regret the heart I gave, or the nights I stayed. I didn't lose myself in you, I lost love. I lost love, and now it safely, didn't hide behind my pride. I told you every truth I had, every fear I kept inside. I showed you all my weakness, let you see my scars. I thought love meant being open, no matter how hard. I didn't keep a distance, didn't make it hard to read. I loved you with my whole heart and let you see I loved honestly, without a shield. I said what I felt, I meant what I feel. I didn't guess, I didn't pretend. I gave you me, not just the best. If loving you cost me everything, I'd still do it again. I know I didn't lose myself in a lie. I loved honestly. You said you needed time, said you weren't sure yet. I stay patient, stay gentle, ignore the regret. I thought love meant understanding, even when it hurt. I didn't know loving you truthfully would make me second. You loved carefully, halfway in, I loved you like the end. I didn't fall because I was blind, I trusted you. I loved honestly, without defense. I stayed when the silence didn't make sense. I didn't leave when it got hard. I believed in who you are. If loving deep was my mistake, I'll still wear it on my chest. I didn't break because I cared. I loved honestly. If you couldn't stay, you could have said it then. I would have handled broken truth better than this. And you didn't hurt me with a lie, you hurt me by letting me try while you were already saying goodbye. I loved honestly, now I see that was the bravest part of me. I don't regret the heart I gave or the nights I chose to stay. I'll love again, but not afraid, not quieter, not less. I didn't lose because I cared. I loved honestly. I loved honestly. And I'm still proud of that. I don't say your name out loud, I don't call like I used to do. I've learned how to live with silence, but it still sounds like you. Your side of the bed feels colder, even months have passed. I tell myself I'm doing better, but my heart moves slow like glass. I don't want you back like before. I know what we went through, but some feelings don't disappear, they just learn to stay quiet too. I miss you in the smallest ways, in moments I don't expect. When a song comes on too softly, or the night feels too empty yet. I don't need you to come back, I don't ask for the truth. I don't love you like I used to, but I miss you. I pass places we once laughed in, try not to slow my pace. I don't cry when I see your name, but it still leaves a trace. You don't haunt my every thought now, you don't break me in two. But sometimes when I'm doing fine, I still feel you. I've forgiven what we couldn't fix, I've forgiven the pain we knew. But healing doesn't mean forgetting, it just changes the view. I miss you when the world goes quiet, when the lights are low. I miss who I was when I loved you more than you'll ever know. I don't blame you for leaving, that's not what breaks me through. I don't wish we were something else, I just miss you. Maybe missing you doesn't mean I want us again. Maybe it just means you mattered back then. I don't reach for your shadow now, I don't wait for your call. But some loves don't leave completely, they just fall soft and small. I miss you, but I'm okay. I've learned how to stand alone. I'll love again, I promise that, but this one felt like home. I don't live in yesterday, I don't wish it was still true. I didn't lose myself in love, I just miss you. I miss you, and I'm learning how to let that be. I learned how to smile through the silence, say I'm okay when I'm not. I learned how to love you quietly, even when you forgot. You said you needed some distance, said you just needed time. So I waited in pieces, pretending I'd be fine. I kept my pain neatly folded so you wouldn't feel the weight. I didn't leave when I should have. I stayed broken so you wouldn't feel guilty. I stayed silent so you wouldn't hear me cry. I held all the blame inside my chest just to keep us alive. You walked away and started healing. I stayed hoping, half open. I didn't shatter all at once. I stayed broken. I watched you slowly grow lighter while I carried us both. I told myself love means patience, even when it hurts the most. I made excuses for your absence, turn your distance into doubt. I thought if I loved you harder, you'd never walk out. You said you cared, you said you tried, said this wasn't goodbye. But love shouldn't feel like disappearing over time. I stayed broken so you wouldn't feel guilty. I stayed quiet so you wouldn't stay. I kept believing in what we were while you faded away. You found peace on the other side. I stayed whole in what was spoken. I didn't fall apart loudly. I stayed broken. If you were done, you could have told me. If you were lost, I'd understand. But you don't leave a heart half beating and call that loving in the end. I don't regret the love I gave. I regret the nights I stayed, trying to fix what wasn't mine to save. I stayed broken. Now I see it wasn't love, it was fear in me. I won't carry what you couldn't hold, or bleed for a story already told. I'll heal slow, but I'll heal whole. I'm letting go of what was broken. I didn't lose because I loved. I stayed broken. I stayed broken so I could finally heal. I stayed when it got heavy, when loving wasn't easy, when your eyes stopped looking at me the way they used to see. I chose you in the silence, in doubts I couldn't prove. While you were slowly drifting, I was still choosing you. I told myself love means staying, even when it hurts inside. I didn't know that holding on could cost me my pride. I defended you in conversations. You weren't even in the room. I made excuses for your distance, so they don't know you like I do. I waited for reassurance, for you to meet me halfway, but waiting turned into loneliness that you never saw my way. You said nothing's wrong so calmly, but I felt it every night. Love shouldn't feel like loyalty, only on one side. I stayed faithful through the cold, through the nights you felt so far. I was loving you completely. You were guarding your heart. I didn't break the promises. I didn't walk away. You didn't lose me to a mistake. I stayed faithful. If you were already leaving, why did you let me stay? Why did you accept my devotion when yours was fading away? I could have handled broken truth, I could have healed in time, but loving someone faithfully shouldn't feel like a crime. I stayed faithful. Now I see that says more about me. I don't regret the love I gave, or the nights I chose to stay. I love again with open eyes, but I won't beg or wait. I didn't lose myself in you. I stayed faithful. I stayed faithful, even when love didn't stay. The lights are still on in the hallway, like you might walk back through the door. I tell myself I'm just tired, but hope keeps pacing the floor. Your name sits heavy on my phone screen. I never press call. I learned how to live with silence, but it doesn't leave it all. You said you needed some time, said you'd be back somehow. I didn't know, not now. Could feel like never right now. I wait alone in the quiet, with the words I never said. I keep replaying all the moments where we almost chose us instead. I don't chase, I don't beg, I just stay where we were known. You didn't tell me goodbye, so I wait alone. The side of the bed is colder, but I still sleep on my side. I pretend I'm getting better, but some nights I just lie. I tell my friends I'm okay, like I finally moved on. But loving you was a habit that my heart hasn't lost. Stop checking in on me, stop saying my name. I stayed holding on to hope, like it could make you stay. I wait alone through the midnight, through the doubts in my head. I was building a future, you were leaving it unsaid. I don't hate you for leaving, that's not where I broke. I broke because you left me here to wait alone. If you were already gone, why did you leave me the key? Why did you say just a little time? If you didn't need me, I could have handled broken truth, I could have healed in time. But waiting for someone who won't return still blurs the line. I wait alone, now I see that waiting changed something in me. I love again, but not like this, not where I'm easy to miss. I don't regret the heart I gave, all the nights I stayed strong. I didn't lose you to someone else. I wait alone. I wait alone, and I'm learning how to stop. I was tired of being careful, sleeping with one eye closed. Then you showed up like a whisper, like something my heart already knows. Your hands never felt demanding, your voice never felt wrong. For the first time in forever, I didn't feel alone. I didn't question where we stood, I didn't brace for pain. I thought love that feels this gentle was here to stay. Love felt safe when you were near, like I could finally rest. I let my walls fall one by one, I gave you my best. I don't miss the way you left, or the nights I cried awake. I just miss the way it felt when love felt safe. We talked about tomorrow like it wasn't far away. You said we'll figure it out, I believed you every day. But comfort doesn't promise forever, and safety doesn't always stay. I didn't see the distance growing till you slipped away. You stopped holding me at night, stopped saying my name. I stayed loving who you were while everything changed. Love felt safe before the silence, before you pulled away. I was loving you completely, you were already gray. I don't blame truth. I could have healed in time, but losing where I felt protected cuts deeper than goodbye. Love felt safe, now I see. That's why it still lives in me. I'll love again, just slower now, with doors I didn't need back then. I don't miss the plans we made, or the words you couldn't say. I just miss who I was back then, when love felt safe. Love felt safe. And I'm learning how to feel safe again. Didn't question every word, I didn't look for signs. You held my face and said my name, like we had all the time. Your laughter felt like safety, your arms a place to stay. I thought love that feels this honest would never slip away. I trusted what we had, I trusted me and you. I didn't fall for promises. Love felt true. Love felt true when you said my name, when you pulled me close at night. I believed in every quiet moment, every will be alright. I don't regret the heart I gave, or the nights I held on through. I didn't fall for a lie. Love felt true. Talked about tomorrow like it was already ours. You traced my dreams with open hands, like you knew who we are. I stayed when it got heavy, I stayed when it got real. I didn't know the deepest love could still not choose to stay. You said you cared, you said you tried, said love can change with time, but love that fades when it gets real was never really mine. Love felt true when you looked at me, all you saw. I softened every part of myself so we wouldn't fall apart. I don't hate you for leaving, that's not what breaks me in two. I You didn't change overnight. You just stopped choosing love when it asks you to fight. Love felt true. Now I see. That's why it still lives in me. I'll love again, just not so blind. Not with my heart so far behind. I don't regret the tears I cried, all the way I tried for you. I didn't lose because I loved. Love felt true. Love felt true. And that's why it still hurts. We didn't fall apart in flames. There was no goodbye, just little moments losing meaning right before my eyes. Your touch felt less familiar. Your smile took longer to appear. I felt you leaving inch by inch, while I was still right here. I kept telling myself it's nothing, just a phase, just time. But love doesn't vanish suddenly, it fades in lines. Love slips slowly through our hands, like we didn't notice when I was holding on to what we were. You were letting go again, and no last words, no warning sign, just distance growing cold. I didn't lose you all at once. Love slips slowly. We still said I love you, but it sounded thin, like something we were used to, not something we were in. I stayed fixing all the silence. You stopped asking me to stay. I kept believing in forever. You believed in walking away. You said nothing's really wrong, but I felt it every night. Love shouldn't feel like guessing if it's right. Love slips slowly out your eyes. Before you left my side, I was loving you completely. You were already halfway gone. I don't hate you for leaving. That's not where I broke. I shattered when I realized love slips slowly. truth. I could have healed in time, but loving something that fades quietly hurts every time. Love slips slowly, now I see I was alone believing in we. I love again, just not so blind, not with my heart so far behind. I don't regret the love I gave or the nights I chose to stay. I didn't lose myself in you. And I felt every step. Tell myself I'm getting better, that I'm stronger than before. I don't cry when I say your name like I used to anymore. I learned how to fill the silence, learned how to be okay. But healing doesn't mean forgetting, it just hurts in quieter ways. I don't reach out, I don't call, I don't ask you to stay, but my heart still remembers every word you couldn't say. Love still hurts when the night falls, when the room feels too wide. I don't miss you the way I did, but the feeling hasn't died. I've moved on in all the right ways, but there's one truth that remains: I don't love you like I used to. But love still hurts. I see your face in passing moments, in songs I don't skip fast. I don't wish we were together, I just miss what we had. You don't haunt my every thought now, you don't break me in two. But sometimes when I'm doing fine, I still feel you. I forgave the way it ended, I forgave the pain, but forgiveness doesn't erase everything. Love still hurts in quiet ways, in memories that stay, in all the things I almost say, then let fade away. I don't hate you, that's the truth. I don't want us stay. I don't break down like before, I don't fall apart, but some loves leave an echo in the heart. But I'm still here. We didn't stop loving loudly, we just stopped feeling close. Your words were still around me, but your heart was almost gone. You kissed me out of habit, held me without heat. I felt the space between us grow, even when you were next to me. I kept waiting for the warmth, for something real to stay, but love can fade without leaving. That's how it breaks. Love turned empty while I stayed, trying to feel what used to be. I was giving you my whole heart, you were giving nothing back to me. No anger, no goodbye, just silence taking over. I didn't lose you suddenly. Love turned empty. We talked like we were okay, like nothing had changed. But I felt lonely right beside you. Every time you said my name, I blame myself for all the distance. Thought I asked for too much, but love shouldn't feel like reaching and never feeling Love was gentle when it found me. Didn't rush, didn't demand. You held my fears like they were fragile, like you truly understood my hands. You spoke softly in the quiet, like my heart was safe with you. For a moment I forgot the past. I believed in something new. I didn't brace for heartbreak, I didn't feel the storm. I thought love that feels this tender had to be the one. Love was gentle when you held me, when your arms felt like my place. I let myself believe again, I let my walls erase. I don't miss the way you left, or the nights I cried alone. I just miss the way it felt when love was gentle. We laughed about the future like it wasn't far away. You said we'll take it slowly. I believed you'd always stay, but softness doesn't promise staying, and warmth can fade with time. I didn't see you pulling back while I was still all in. You stopped reaching out at night, stopped holding me the same. I stayed loving who you were while you quietly changed. Love was gentle before it hurt, before the silence grew. I was loving you with all my heart. You were halfway through. I don't blame you for leaving. That's not where I fell apart. I just miss the way it felt when love was gentle. If you knew you couldn't stay, why did you calm my fears? Why did you let my heart rest here? If you weren't staying near, I could have handled broken truth, I could have healed in time, but losing something soft like this cuts deeper than goodbye. Love was gentle, now I know. That's why it still lives slow inside the parts of me that hoped and didn't let go. I'll love again, just differently, with stronger hands and care. I didn't lose myself in pain. Love was gentle. was gentle, and that's why it still hurts. We didn't rush the feeling, we let it learn our names. Every small forever, every almost stayed. Your laugh filled empty rooms, your hand knew where to land. I wasn't chasing something perfect, I just felt understood. I didn't need the promise, I didn't need the seal. I just needed to believe that love was real. Love was real when you held me, when the world slowed down. I let myself be open, I let my guard fall down. I don't miss the way it ended, or the nights I cried alone. I miss the way my heart believed love was real. We talked about the future like it was already ours. Said we'd grow around the cracks, said love leaves scars. But comfort doesn't guarantee that hearts won't change. I stayed loving who you were while you drifted away. You stopped choosing us out loud, stopped saying what you feel. I stayed because I thought love was real. Love was real before the silence, before you pulled away. I was loving you completely, you were already gray. I don't blame you for leaving, that's not where I broke. I broke because I trusted it. Love was real. If you knew you couldn't stay, why did you let me rest? Why did you teach my heart to hope, then give me less? I could have handled broken truth, I could have healed in time, but losing something that felt real still crosses my mind. Love was real and so was I. I gave you more than just goodbye. I'll love again, just not so blind, not with that still means something to me. Stood right there in front of you with everything I was. My hands were shaking slightly, but you never noticed once. I tried to say it carefully, tried not to sound afraid, but you were already somewhere else before I even spoke your name. I needed you to see me, needed one small sign, but you were busy letting go while I was still trying. You didn't look when I was breaking, didn't hear me fall apart. I was asking without saying, with my eyes, with my heart. I gave you every quiet truth, every piece I took off guard. You didn't leave me suddenly, you didn't look. We shared the same old silence, sat inches in between. I kept hoping you'd turn around and finally see me. I softened every feeling so you wouldn't feel the weight. I didn't know loving quietly could hurt this way. You said nothing was wrong, said I was overthinking, but love doesn't feel invisible when both hearts are listening. You didn't look when I was breaking, didn't ask if I was okay. I was fading right beside you, you were looking away. I don't blame you for leaving, that's not what left the mark. You didn't walk out loudly, you didn't if you had seen the tears I hid, you might have stayed or tried. But you don't save a love you never really recognize. I didn't need perfection, I didn't need you to stay. I just needed you to see me before it slipped away. You didn't look, now I see I was alone, loving deeply. I don't hate you, that's not me. I just wish you'd notice me. I'll love again, just not like this, not where my heart feels small. I didn't lose you in goodbye. You didn't look. And I finally stopped waiting. You were right beside me, but somehow far away. Your eyes were on the ceiling when I asked if you'd stay. Your hand was in my sweater, your mind was somewhere else. I felt you slipping through me while I was holding myself. I told myself it was nothing, just a quiet phase. But love doesn't feel distant when it wants to stay. You felt near, but not with me, like I was loving you alone. I could feel your body next to mine, but your heart was already gone. No goodbye, no honesty, just nights I cried in fear. I didn't lose you suddenly, you felt near. We talked like everything was fine, like nothing had changed. But silence filled the spaces where your promises used to stay. I kept trying to reach you while you slowly let go. I was still calling it love, you were calling it I don't know. You stopped choosing us out loud, stopped pulling me close. I stayed loving what we were, you were almost gone. You felt near when you touched me, but I knew you weren't there. I was giving you my whole heart, you were breathing empty air. I don't blame you for leaving, it's not where I broke. I broke because you stayed so close, but you weren't home. If you knew you were already leaving, why did you stay in my arms? Why did you let me feel your warmth? If you were already gone, I could have handled broken truth, I could have healed in time. But losing you while holding you still haunts my mind. You felt near, now I see that's what hurt the most in me. I'll love again, just not like this, not where I beg to be missed. I don't regret the love I gave or the nights I stayed sincere. I didn't lose you far away, you felt me. You felt me. And that's why it still hurts. I didn't fall all at once, it happened slow then fast. You felt like something familiar from a life I almost had. Your voice calmed every doubt, your touch didn't feel new, like my heart already knew what it wanted. wanted to do. I didn't question where it led. I didn't fight the light. I didn't think about the ending, because you felt right. You felt right when you held me close, like I didn't have to try. I let myself believe again. I let my defenses die. I don't miss the way you left, or the nights I cried. I miss the way my heart believed, because you felt right. We talked like it was easy, like love wouldn't change. You said this feels different. I felt the same, but comfort doesn't promise staying, and right doesn't mean forever. I didn't know something so good could break me this gently. You stopped choosing us out loud, stopped holding on so tight. I stayed loving what we were, because it still felt right. You felt right before you faded, before the silence grew. I was loving you with all I had. You were halfway through. I don't blame you for leaving. That's not where I cried. I broke because I trusted it. You felt right. If you knew it wouldn't last, why did you let me stay? Why did you teach my heart to rest, then walk away? I could have handled broken truth. I could have healed in time, but losing something that felt right feels like losing my mind. You felt right, now I see that's why you still live in me. I'll love again, but not so blind, not with my heart so far behind. I don't regret the love I gave, or the nights I tried. I didn't fall for something wrong. You felt right. You felt right, and that's why it still hurts. You didn't say you weren't happy. You didn't ask for space. You just grew distant little by little, right in front of my face. We still talk like nothing changed, still share the same routine, but I felt you slipping through my hands like something in between. I heard it in your breathing, in the way you looked away. Love doesn't always end with words, sometimes it fades. You left quietly, without a sound. I was still standing here while you were already gone. No last fight, no goodbye, just silence filling the room. I didn't lose you suddenly. You let replayed every conversation, wondered where I went wrong. I kept loving you the same way, even when it felt alone. You stopped asking how I felt, stopped needing me close. I stayed fixing all the pieces. You were ready to let go. You said nothing's wrong, but I felt the truth inside. Love shouldn't feel invisible when it's alive. You left quietly without a trace. I was holding on to us. You were already erased. No anger in your voice, no tears in your eyes. I didn't hear it break apart. You left quietly. If you were done loving me, you could have told me then. I would have handled broken truth better than this quiet end. You didn't hurt me loudly, you didn't make a scene. You just slowly disappeared from everything we'd been. You left quietly, now I see. That's why it still echoes in me. I don't hate you, I don't blame. I just wish you'd said my name. I'll heal from this, I'll be okay. I'm learning how to let it be. I didn't lose you in goodbye. You left quietly. You left quietly, and I'm still learning how to breathe. You didn't raise your voice at me. You didn't slam the door. You just stopped asking how I felt, like it didn't matter anymore. I waited for you to explain, to say what changed inside. But every question I swallowed just keeps the truth alive. I felt the space between your words, the distance in your eyes. Love doesn't die from anger, it dies from quiet. You let silence speak for you when I needed something real. I was reaching that silence. We shared the same four walls at night, but lived in different worlds. I talked until my voice felt thin. You listened like you'd already gone. I made excuses for your quiet, told myself this phase would pass, but love shouldn't feel like guessing or walking on broken glass. You said nothing's wrong out loud, but I felt the truth inside. Love shouldn't feel invisible when both hearts try. You let silence speak for you when words could have saved us both. I was holding on to hope, you were letting go. I begged without a sound, I broke without a tone. You didn't walk away from me, you let silence. If you were scared, I'd understand. If you were done, just say. I would have handled broken truth better than this empty space. You didn't hurt me with a lie, you hurt me, let me wait for something you already knew you couldn't say. You let silence and the love I was still fighting for. I gave you every chance to speak, you closed the door. I don't hate you, that's not me. I just wish you tried. I didn't lose you to another heart. You let silence. You let silence. And I finally heard the truth. I was tired of feeling restless, of never staying long. Then you looked at me like comfort, like I finally belonged. Your voice felt like a promise, your arms a place to land. I stopped packing up my heart, I thought you'd understand. I didn't keep an exit, didn't feel alone. I didn't know a person could feel like home. You meant home when you held me, when the world felt small. I let my guard fall slowly, I gave you all. I talked about tomorrow like it was meant to stay. You said we'll figure it out. I believed you every day. But comfort isn't forever, and safety doesn't promise stay. I didn't see the distance growing until you pulled away. You stopped calling me your place, stopped needing me around. I stayed fixing all the silence while you were shutting down. You meant home when you chose me. Before choosing felt unsure. I was loving you completely. You were wanting something more. I don't blame you for leaving. That's not where I broke. I just miss the way it felt when you meant home. If you knew you couldn't stay, why did you let me rest? Why did you teach my heart to breathe and take it back? I could have handled broken truth. I could have healed in time. But losing where I felt safe cuts deeper than goodbye. You meant home, now I see. That's why you still live in me. I love again, just slower now, with doors I didn't need back then. I don't miss the planes we laid, or the words you never spoke. I just miss who I was back then when you meant home. You meant home. And I'm learning how to leave. You didn't raise your voice at me, didn't say a word. You packed your heart in silence, left me feeling unheard. Your jacket still hangs by the door, your shadow still feels near. I kept waiting for a reason, but you never made it clear. I searched your eyes for answers, for something I could hold. But love doesn't always shatter. Sometimes it goes cold. You walked quiet out of my life, like I wouldn't feel the change. I was still saying we'll be fine while you were walking away. No goodbye, no final fight, just the sound of you gone. I didn't lose you in a moment. You walked quiet. We still share the same old nights, but not the same heartbeat. I kept reaching for your hand, you kept pulling out of reach. You said nothing's really wrong, but I felt it wasn't right. I stayed holding on to high. You let go without a fight. You stopped choosing us out loud, stopped needing me around. with my heart so far behind. I don't regret the love I gave or the nights I stayed up strong. I didn't lose you to another heart. You walked quiet. You walked quiet. And I finally heard goodbye.